started. Get your coffees while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 7 years ago, stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America. Family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am Craig L. Hayes. Today is July 24th, 2024. A lot of things going on in the last 5-6 days. Lots of interesting things. Let me see what we end up with so far. Joe Biden finally came to the conclusion he's a loser and a destructive force, a flamethrower on this country, a wrecking ball, and decided he couldn't win the election. So he stepped out, probably had a gun to his head. From Obama, Clinton, Hillary especially, others of that ilk. Told to drop out. So he drops out, but he's going to stay as president, and I hope he does. Just continue being the idiot that he is, continue being the most destructive and worst president we've ever had in this country. So he finally steps out after his disastrous debate performance. A deer in the headlight for an hour and a half, lying, nonstop lies, nonstop platitudes to the destructive forces within this country. He is a racist. He is a segregationist, always has been. Aligned himself when he first got to the U.S. Senate with Robert Byrd, a Klansman, I think a Grand Poobah, or whatever they want to call their guys in the Klan. Didn't want any of this country to have desegregation, busing for black children. Didn't want to have anything that could stop the white expansion or control of this country, because that is who the Democrat Party is. Even though they have a lot of black people in it, that's who they are. So, a man who is an anti-Semite would rather see Israel destroyed by all of those Islamists, radical, crazy people that surround them than a Democrat country, democratically elected officials, etc. He's throwing in with the Palestinians, who are nothing more than a bunch of radicals who are basically squatters in Israel, who have no real legitimate claim to Israel, who have nothing whatsoever other than they are just there. But he wants a two-state solution. And it's funny, but no other, remember this, no other Islamic nation supports a two-state nation within Israel with the Palestinians. Egypt doesn't like the Palestinians. Jordan doesn't like the Palestinians. Excuse me. Lebanon doesn't want anything to do with the Palestinians. They're just a tool being used by terrorist factions coming from Iran. You know, if they really cared about the Palestinians, if they really wanted the Palestinians to have a homeland, you know, Saudi Arabia could give up some territory. Iran could give up some territory. Iraq could give up some territory. Syria, and the list goes on and on. But the funny thing is, every time any of these countries have allowed Palestinians to move into their country, riots, problematic, the attempted overthrow of the governments that are in those nations seem to occur really quick. That's because the Palestinians are nothing more than a terrorist faction of Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas. Plain and simple. And the one democratically elected nation that supports America, and we've always supported, Joe Biden and his Democrat Party all want to support those that commit the crimes, those that commit the terrorism, those that commit the genocide against the Jewish nation. They support the Palestinians. Isn't it amazing how such an idiot, how such a anti-Semite, pro-Palestinian, Iranian terrorist, Hamas, Hezbollah supporter, whatever you want to call Joe Biden, has the gall to criticize anything that goes on within the MAGA movement with Donald Trump. The entire Democrat Party, and those who just vote Democrat because they think the Democrat Party does such a good job, is evil, corrupt, and needs to be dismantled, destroyed, or sent to another country that does believe in the same things they do, such as, I don't know, how about communism, Marxism, socialism, progressivism, any ism that has total power in the government and control. So anyways, the useless idiot in the White House, Joe Biden, has decided he's not going to run. And he's put his support, which I thought was hilarious. He first comes out, has a statement, says he's not going to run, he's going to drop out of the campaign, but he says nothing about Kamala Harris, that he's supporting her and he wants her to follow his footsteps and into the White House. And then the news gets a hold of that, starts making the thing, why didn't he do this, why didn't he do this? All of a sudden a thing pops back out, and he supports Kamala Harris. So he really doesn't. He knows she's a disaster and a wrecking ball herself. She'll probably end up destroying the Democrat Party. Yay, I support her 100% in her run. I want to see her help destroy the Democrat Party. The party that's supposed to supposedly, now here's the funny part, supposedly the Democratic Party that is so worried that Donald Trump is going to destroy democracy in this country. We have to stop Donald Trump because he could destroy democracy and we could have the end of this nation. So, but the way we're going to do that is we're not going to have any Democrat primaries or runoffs or anything during the primary season because we've anointed Joe Biden as the only person that's going to run in the Democrat Party. And all you other people who tried to, we just took your names off all the ballots. We just took your name off all the registers so that only one name appears on that, and that's Joe Biden. I love how you love democracy. I love how you are the vanguards and protectors, the Praetorian Guard, or whatever you want to call them, of democracy in this nation. You've just shown the tyrannical side of the Democrat Party, how you do nothing different than any other tin pot dictator in this world. You're disgusting. Plain and simple. Your party is disgusting. And then, yes, we need to go to the convention, have an open convention, and we need to show that we are the Democrat Party. That lasted about 24 hours. And then everybody decided, we're going to run with Kamala Harris. And let's remind you of who Kamala Harris is. Remember when she was running for president in 2020 and she went to Iowa and she didn't get one delegate and dropped out of the race after one primary contest? The Democrat Party can't stand this woman. We know that she's nothing more than a DEI hire for Joe Biden as vice president. She's the dumbest and most corrupt and evil vice president since Joe Biden. She wants to run on her record of being a tough prosecutor. Well, let's look at her record there in San Francisco and the state of California. I would like her to take and point out which case that she litigated, she prosecuted, that she actually stood there in the courtroom and convicted any criminal. So far, I haven't heard of a single one. I haven't seen a single one. I haven't heard of anything in that vein of her experience and her tough on crime persona. So, we know that whole thing is a lie. We do know that when she was Attorney General that she put away a lot of people, especially black males, for crimes they did not commit, withheld evidence, and it cost the state of California hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to settle lawsuits once it was found that these people that had gone to prison were done so falsely, false convictions, and they had to pay these people for violating their human rights and their basic rights as an American citizen. But she doesn't care, as the Democrat Party doesn't care. It's whatever it takes to assume power, to grab power and hold on to it. That's all the Democrat Party cares about. So now she is going to go to the convention as the anointed, no open conventions, no debates, no discussions. She's going in there as the only person that's going to come out of there with the blessing of the party as the presidential candidate. Well, so much for the Democrat Party being so concerned about democracy being destroyed in this nation because they just did it again. Isn't it amazing how quickly they can destroy democracy whenever it suits their need, but blame others for trying to uphold democracy and support the republic? The Democrat Party is evil, satanic, demonic, and corrupt. It never should have even come into existence. But it is. And we have to deal with it until we can take and destroy it and get rid of it out of this country. So, that is what's going to be happening soon. So let's look at her accomplishments as vice president. Let me see. They needed somebody to be in charge of the border crisis, in quotes. So what did they do? They made Kamala Harris in charge of the border crisis. And she did a great job, just an awesome job. Yeah, we have between 15 and 20 million illegal aliens have crossed the border as she's been trying to help solve the border crisis. 15 to 20 million illegal aliens have invaded our country under her becoming the border czar and taking over the stopping of these illegals coming in, vetting them, etc., and she has failed miserably. Then she is put in charge of artificial intelligence. Well, someone would have to have just a monicum of intelligence to be put in charge of computer intelligence, and she does not have that at all. Once again, Joe Biden selected her because she was a black female and even dumber than him. Hard to believe anybody could be dumber than Joe Biden. Joe Biden only got where he was because he's a nasty, filthy, disgusting, loathsome politician. That's all he's ever done. Everyone sits there and says, well, he's saying mean things right now. He's always said mean things. He tried destroying people's lives his whole career. And he's proud of it. See, that's the sad part about it. And you Democrats just keep supporting him. You guys just think he's done such a great job. You guys went from hating him and telling him he needed to go because he's a senile old fool to now he's the greatest president you guys have ever had. You people in the media, or I should say the Democrat Party propaganda mill, are just filthy and disgusting too. The role of journalism, the role of a journalist, the role of newspapers, the role of news organizations, whether it be the evening news, whether it be cable news, is to put the truth out there, 100% of the truth, and you have failed miserably. Not that we really ever expected you guys to do your job, because you guys have invaded and destroyed the colleges that teach these kids about journalism, and you've told them your number one job is that they can destroy anybody who stands against the Democrat Party. Your job is to promote nonstop, incessantly, the Democrat Party ideology, which is communism, Marxism, and socialism. This is the job you are supposed to do. And whenever you hear anything, you attack anybody who points out the truth of our failures in the Democrat Party. So there you are. Here's your diploma. Now go to work for CNN, MSNBC, and all the rest of the crap propaganda mills and do your job and always support us. This is why you can't trust what you see on the news. And I don't care if you see it on Fox or anybody else, Newsmax or anyone. If you're not willing to do a little investigation yourself, if you're not willing to take and do your own research, then you're a fool. You need to keep an eye on these people, because these people have one thing in mind, and it is the destruction and the control of your life. They would love nothing more than to beat you down into the ground by destroying your dollar, so you have to slave more and more to get the basic necessities. Do you think the Democrat Party cares that now you can't go take a vacation with your family? Do you think the Democrat Party cares that the cost of your housing, your food, your fuel, everything it takes to live and get by has gone up between 15 and 35% over the last 3 years? They do not. They look at it as a win-win, because what you'll do is turn to them in the government and the Democrat Party and say, can't you fix this? And they'll go, well, we can fix this, but it's going to cost money, and we'll give you some money in some sort to help you out. And Democrats go, okay, I'll do anything as long as you help me. I'll sign over my soul. Who's this? Who's the head on this paper? Oh, his name is Satan, but don't worry about it. Sign the contract and everything will be fine. This is where we are in this country. And you guys just don't care. The Democrat Party hates this country. It's just that simple. And you Republicans, you Mitch McConnell, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and others, you're just as bad as the Democrats. Even worse, because you're supposed to be standing up against them, and you go along with them and support them in having a big government, big spending, big intrusion into people's lives. You're just as bad, if not, I will say you're worse. The next 3 months are going to be so interesting. My suggestion for Donald Trump: ignore Kamala Harris. Ignore everything her and her party are going to do, say, or anything about you. Let J.D. Vance go out there and just destroy her nonstop. And Donald, Mr. President, please go out there and keep expounding your vision for America to the American people. This is what's winning your support. Don't stop and get distracted by this idiot that's running for president now. Hopefully we can control how much fraud goes on in this election. It was uncontrolled in 2020. That's why we got stuck with Joe Biden, the most corrupt election we've ever had. The only way that Joe Biden could win. Ballot box stuffing, and on we go. But we don't look backwards at 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. We look forward. Please, Mr. Donald Trump, push your vision. Tell America how great this nation still is and still can become even greater if the right person is in that White House and we have a Congress that will listen and work with you. So that's where we're headed over the next few months. That's my thoughts of the week as I watched this clown show from the Democrat Party, this Stalin, Mao, Castro, Noriega type control over a party. And, you have to remember in the Soviet Union, here's something else that's popped into my head. In the Soviet Union, everybody voted in the Soviet Union, but there was only one name on the ballot, whoever was the head of the party. He was the only person on that ballot. Sounds a lot like the Democrat Party, doesn't it? Yeah, you people who want to vote for, all you people who voted for Joe Biden or who didn't vote for him and don't like Joe Biden, well, you're going to have to vote for Kamala now, because we've decided it's going to be her. Let's just say there's 70 million registered, or 80 million, I don't care, pick a number, Democrats in this country. You 80 million, 90 million, I don't care the number, have no voice whatsoever within the Democrat Party. You have absolutely nothing to say. They only want your loyal voting because you're all nothing but a bunch of sheep. You're going to vote for who we tell you to vote for. And we're going to put one name on there, and that's who you're going to vote. End of story. Your votes mean nothing. But we're the Democrat Party, and we're upholding democracy. But as long as there's only one vote on it, just vote for that one thing, and then see, you got to vote. That's all that counts. That's all that counts. Anyhow, that's it for today. I figure I've vented a little bit. I've put my thoughts out, and I've enjoyed this last few days. And I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to the next few months, because you can't get a bigger clown show than what you're seeing within the Democrat Party. An evil clown party. Because that's who they are. Anyways, this is the Craig L. Hayes Show. And I am Craig L. Hayes. Until we meet again, keep thinking and pass it on.